I think we can all agree that the 2022 NFL draft, especially from the quarterback position, might go down as one of the worst of all time. I mean, you had one guy out of 9 who's still projected to be a starter this year, and it's only the 2024 season. I mean, that is insane to me. So I have a question. What would happen if these quarterbacks were all drafted in a different spot? Would some people do better? Would some people do worse? Would Desmond Ridder still be starting? Would Brock Purdy never even get a shot? That's what we're going to find out. So we're going to use this wheel to decide where each of these quarterbacks are going to restart their careers at. Of course, just like in the draft, we're going to start with Kenny Pickett. Let's see what team is going to be drafting him. Kenny Pickett's new location is going to be, is that the Panthers? It is. He's going to be going to the Panthers. Now, it is going to be the current rosters. So he's going to have to compete with Bryce Young. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. All right, now it's time to figure out where Desmond Ridder is going to be playing football next. He was originally on the Falcons, but this time, he's going to be on the 49ers. That's honestly huge because talent-wise, they're the best team here. I know Desmond Ridder's happy right now. Now it's time for us to find out where Malik Willis is going. We've got Kenny Pickett on the Panthers, Desmond Ridder on the 49ers, sorry. But it's Malik Willis that's going to the Falcons. Interesting location. Kirk Cousins just got traded there, though, so that's going to be interesting. Now it's time to see where Matt Corral is going to go, which he's out of the league in real life, but let's see in this redraft where he's going. Patriots? He actually was signed with the Patriots, even though it was very briefly, but now he's going back. Now it's time for my personal favorite quarterback in this draft class, Bailey Zappi. Obviously, he originally went to the Patriots. Let's see where he goes this time. That's looking like it's going to be Steelers. And it is. He's going to the Steelers. Out there with Russell Wilson, though, I kind of feel bad. He's probably going to be a backup, but we'll see. Next is Sam Howell, who was drafted by the Commanders, but recently traded to the Seahawks. Let's see where he's going in a redraft. Zach, that is going to be the Titans. Let's see how he does out there. All right, next we have Chris Oladokun. I looked it up. That's how you pronounce it. He originally went to the Steelers. Let's see where he's going in this redraft. Looks like he's going to the Commanders. Technically have an open quarterback spot right now. You never know. Now, the whole point of this video is for everybody to go to a different team. And we've only got 2 quarterbacks left. Skylar Thompson and Brock Purdy. And since Dolphins and Steelers are the only 2 teams left, and Skylar Thompson can't go to the Dolphins again, Skylar Thompson's automatically going to go to the Steelers, and Brock Purdy's automatically going to go to the Dolphins. Let's see how it fares out for those 2. So here's the position that every quarterback is in at the moment. We got Kenny Pickett on the Panthers, who overall-wise looks like they might go with him, but Bryce Young does have the age, so we'll see what the Panthers end up doing in that situation. Here's Desmond Ridder, which looks like he's going to be the starter for the Niners. His only competition at the moment is Brandon Allen, but never know what the team's going to do. Now here's Malik Willis on the Falcons behind Kirk Cousins and Taylor Heineke. It's not looking too good for him. Now we got Matt Corral, who seems to be in a pretty bad quarterback room, but you never know what they're going to do. Jacoby Brissett's in front of him, though. Nathan Rourke behind him. We actually get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, since in that real 2022 draft, the Steelers drafted 2 quarterbacks. So, Skylar Thompson and Bailey Zappi, but both are behind Russell Wilson. Now, Sam Howell actually gets to start in a somewhat favorable position. I mean, at the moment, it looks like he's going to be starting over Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. Now, Chris Oladokun, he's behind Marcus Mariota, but hey, you never know what the Commanders are going to do, right? And last but certainly not least, we've got Brock Purdy, who at the moment would be Tua's backup. Maybe they'll trade him. Maybe he stays a career backup. We'll have to wait and see. Now it's time to jump into the league. We're going to go in as the Vikings, so that way we can't affect the decisions of the teams for any of the quarterbacks we put on the new teams. But let me know in the comments, though. After what you saw, which quarterback do you think is going to have the best career here? Let's get right into it. For the first season, we're only going to sim to mid-season so we can see where every quarterback's at in the first year. Of course, we want to sim the entire career of these guys, so we won't do this every year. But we might do it for the first couple seasons. We're not halfway through the season. Let's see what the team's records are looking like right now. Desmond Ridder has the 49ers with an undefeated 7-0 record. That is insane. What do we got next? We got the Titans at 4-2. Other teams in this little experiment, we've got Dolphins at 4-3. Steelers at 3-3. We've got the Panthers at 2-4, Commanders at 2-5, Falcons at 1-6, and the Patriots are 0-7. Oh my goodness. Let's see how the players themselves are doing, at least statistically. Some have to be doing better than others because some of them just have horrible records. Sam Darnold, not even part of the experiment, but almost 2K with 15 tutties? Okay. Anyway, let's get to the Commanders real quick. Chris Olave, as we would have expected, has not gotten PT yet. But the Commanders aren't good anyway, so I'm sure he's okay with that. We got the Dolphins next. Brock Purdy hasn't played a down. And they haven't even traded him. So he's just there backing up Tua. That's interesting. Falcons, Malik Willis hasn't played as we would have expected. Kirk Cousins not having a good year though, so that's concerning. No wonder they're only 1-6. 49ers, Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder having a career year. 1,500 yards, 15 tutties, only 4 interceptions, a 75% completion percentage. He might be confirming the narrative that it's really just system. It's just a system. That is insane. Next team, we got to look at the Panthers. Kenny Pickett. So it looks like they're running with Bryce Young over Kenny Pickett, as Kenny Pickett has maybe 1 game worth of stats. That is insane. Patriots next. Matt Corral has gotten a little bit of PT, but not that much. Looks like he only played a few downs of a couple games maybe. We'll see how that keeps going. Next, we've got the Steelers, who have both Skylar Thompson and Bailey Zappi. Only Skylar Thompson's gotten some PT, and it's only enough for 1 attempt and 1 completion for 5 yards. They're probably not going to be in the league much longer, I would assume. We got the Titans as well with Sam Howell, who's actually not having that bad of a year. I mean, 8 touchdowns, 4 picks, almost 1,200 yards. Like, not too bad, but let's see where every team's at come playoff time. We have now seen to the playoffs of the first year. Let's see if any of them even made the playoffs. In the AFC side, Dolphins at the 6th seed. Granted, that might still be Tua starting. We'll have to go check that. And in the NFC, the 1 seed Niners with Desmond Ridder. And the 4th seed Panthers. Now, whether that's Bryce Young or Kenny Pickett, we'll have to go check. Let's quickly go look at the season stats of every player in this little experiment here. God, that's a pretty good season for a guy like Sam Darnold. Anyway, Commanders first. Okay, so Chris Olave did get a little bit of PT. Not a lot, but he did get a little bit of PT. Went 8 for 12 and a tutty. That ain't bad. That is not bad. Next is Dolphins. Brock Purdy has barely played. He's only had 3 passing attempts. That is insane. Let him free, Dolphins. Let him go play somewhere else. Falcons didn't even they gave Malik Willis 1 snap. He has played 1 down all season. That is insane. Kirk with a very mediocre season, by the way. 49ers, Desmond Ridder with easily a career year. 3,700 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, only 11 picks, 72% completion percentage. Led his team to the 1st seed in the NFC. His rushing stats, 69 for 262 and 2 tutties. Desmond Ridder's going crazy out there in San Francisco. Next team we should have is the Panthers. Kenny Pickett did get a little more PT, but really hasn't played that much. But in the time he played, went 36 of 51, 355 yards, 3 tutties, 2 picks. Their quarterback play has been bad. How'd they win their division? Their division must have been horrible. We got to go look at that in a second. Patriots, Matt Corral, barely had any PT, but he did go 9 of 14 with 2 tutties. So I guess he looked good in the little bit of time that he did play. Should only have a couple teams left. We got Steelers, who have both Skylar Thompson and Bailey Zappi. Zappi didn't get any stats at all. And then Skylar Thompson did go 2 for 2 for 8 yards. So, I mean, that's something. Last team should be Titans, who have Sam Howell. Had actually a good year. A little over 3K yards, 27 touchdowns, to only 13 picks, 65% completion percentage, but they did miss the playoffs. I do want to check that one team, though, because how did the Panthers make the playoffs with such bad quarterback play? We have to check this. We have to see. Hold on. Panthers went 9-8 and won their division. Oh, no, because their division was kind of mid, but still, 8-9 Saints. Like, 7-10 Falcons, 6-11 Buccaneers. I just don't see how a team that threw more picks than touchdowns made the playoffs. That's crazy, but let's see how these playoffs go. All right, so in the first round of the playoffs, the Panthers do get eliminated, even though Kenny Pickett probably didn't even play anyway, right? Yeah, Kenny Pickett didn't play anyway, but they still got eliminated, 42-21 to the Eagles. Obviously, Niners haven't played yet, and we did have the Dolphins get eliminated too. The only other team from this experiment in the playoffs. Did Brock Purdy even play? He did not, and they got eliminated. So I mean, hey, maybe that's because they went with Tua over Brock Purdy. Let's go ahead and send to round 2. See how the Niners do. In the second round of the playoffs, the only team left from the experiment was the Niners, and they get knocked off by the Eagles. Desmond Ridder had a great game, though. 253, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 156 passer rating. You cannot blame this game on Desmond Ridder. Who lost it? Even Christian McCaffrey had a good game. The defense just could not stop Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And in year 1, the best performer seemed to have been Desmond Ridder. Let's just go right into year 2. Heading into year 2, Malik Willis is actually still on the Falcons, but he's also still the 3rd string. Desmond Ridder, as we expected, would still be the starter for the 49ers in year 2 of this experiment. Not only that, though, they've given him a superstar ability, so they're saying he's going crazy with the 49ers. Kenny Pickett is still on the Panthers. He did progress a little bit, but so did Bryce Young, so they're both 76 overall. I'm assuming they're going to start Bryce Young due to age, but we'll see. Matt Corral actually is still on the Patriots, but he's now going to be the 3rd string, so probably not even going to get any snaps this time. And our first team change of the video, Sam Howell has now gone to the Raiders, where it does look like he's going to be the starter with Gardner Minshew backing him up, but it's our first change. Going from one change to another, we have Bailey Zappi, who is now on the Rams, but to still be a backup. I mean, he's behind Tyler Huntley and Matthew Stafford, so we'll see how that works out. 3 changes in a row. We have Skylar Thompson now on the Ravens to back up 99 overall Lamar Jackson. Okay. And now we know the reason why Sam Howell is not on the Tennessee Titans anymore, and that's because Brock Purdy took the spot. The Dolphins finally let him go, and this is the first year we get to see Brock Purdy start a game. And the first quarterback to no longer be on a team in this resim is Chris Oladokun. His time in the NFL is done. And now that we know where everybody is at, let's go ahead and sim to the end of the season. See how everybody does year 2. Before we get into the stats, let's see where everybody is in the playoffs. We got some new teams to pay attention to now. Remember, the Ravens. Got to pay attention to them because Skylar Thompson's the backup. Might not be playing, but they are the 1 seed. Titans with Brock Purdy are now the 7th seed. And that's it. The Raiders and the Patriots did not make the playoffs, which have our other AFC quarterbacks. On the NFC side, though, we did have the Niners make the playoffs again with Desmond Ridder, the 2nd seed this time, not the 1st seed. The 3rd seed Panthers with Kenny Pickett, but it might be Bryce Young playing. We don't know. Then the Falcons and Rams, our other 2 that we're paying attention to, did not make the playoffs. It's time to see how everybody did statistically this season. First team I believe we should start with is the Falcons, alphabetical wise. Here we are. All right, so we got Malik Willis, who didn't even play it down. That was kind of expected. Better season from Kirk this year compared to last year, though. Next, we got the 49ers. Desmond Ridder with another great season. 3,600 yards, 34 touchdowns to only 9 picks, 70% completion percentage. His rushing stats, 68 for 273 and a tutty. I mean, Desmond Ridder's going crazy out there for San Francisco. Next, we've got the Panthers, which have Kenny Pickett, who didn't play much at all. Only had 1 passing attempt, completed for 3 yards. So they're just riding on the backs of Bryce Young right now. That's pretty interesting. We still got the Patriots. Matt Corral didn't even play it down. He's probably going to be out of the league soon if I had to guess. We have to pay attention to the Raiders now because they got Sam Howell. They missed the playoffs, but he did throw for almost 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 13, well, not only 13 interceptions. It is quite a bit, but 13 picks. His rushing stats, he had 97 rushes for 416 and a tutty, though. Damn. Wasn't expecting that out of Sam Howell. Next, we've got the Rams, who do have Bailey Zappi, who actually played 9 downs. That might not be a lot, but he did play 9 total snaps, but didn't put up a single stat. We got the Ravens as well with Skylar Thompson, who did play a little bit. 3 attempts, 2 completions, 35 yards. That's something, and they are the 1 seed. They are the 1 seed. Then finally, we got the Titans Brock Purdy. That is a great year. That is a great year from Brock Purdy. 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's like, this is what the Dolphins were missing out on when they weren't playing me over Tua. Let's see his rushing stats real quick. 74 for 239 and 4 tutties. Let's see how the playoffs go this year. In the AFC side, the Titans lose to the Bills. They were our 7th seed with Brock Purdy. Let's see how he played at least. Brock Purdy did not play well. Let's just keep it honest. He only had 200 yards, no touchdowns. Granted, no picks, but like, you can't expect to win a playoff game and not throw any touchdowns, Brock. Come on now. That's it for the AFC side, though. On the NFC side, we also had the Niners lose to the Buccaneers, 24-21. Let's at least see how Desmond Ridder played. Ridder had an okay game, but not a good game. Only 116 yards, a touchdown, no picks. You can't expect to win like that, man. You gotta do more. And then finally, the Panthers also lost, so everybody got first rounded. Let's at least see how the Panthers did. Oh yeah, Kenny Pickett's not playing, so I mean, it didn't even matter. We still got the Ravens though, so even though Skylar Thompson's the backup, let's see if he gets a backup ring. The Ravens with Skylar Thompson as the backup do take out the Chiefs and advance to the conference finals. No PT for Skylar Thompson though, sadly, but doesn't matter. He still might get a backup ring. Let's see what happens. The Ravens beat the Bills. We have a chance to see the first ring one of the video. Granted, it's as a backup, but hey, that's a stat. Hey, he put up a stat in the playoffs. That's an incompletion. That's all that matters. And it looks like we can't get the first ring of the video because the Cowboys beat the Ravens. We're still searching for the first ring of the video. We're now at the beginning of year 3. We're going to see where everybody's at. And it looks like Skylar Thompson is going to take the Kevin Durant approach. He just lost to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, granted as a backup. So now he decides to go join them as the backup. Surprisingly, Malik Willis is still on the Falcons. Still the 3rd string, but he's still in the league. As we would expect, Desmond Ridder is still on the 49ers. He has progressed again, and he's still got his superstar rating. Sam Howell, still on the Raiders, progressed a little bit again, is now 79 overall. Looking like he's going to be the starter. Year 3, Bailey Zappi still in the league, 69 overall, but he is the backup to the Rams, so we'll see. Brock Purdy, as you would expect, still with the Titans for a 2nd year, has progressed to 90 overall now, still has his superstar rating. I couldn't find Kenny Pickett for a second, so I must have completely skipped it, but Kenny Pickett is on the Commanders, so we're going to see a starting Kenny Pickett for the first time in this video. In what might be his last time in the video, Matt Corral has been released and is no longer in the league. Season 3 is now over. Let's go look and see what the playoff bracket's looking like. On the AFC side, the only one we have is the Raiders with Sam Howell making the playoffs as the 3 seed. On the NFC side, we have the Falcons with Malik Willis in the 2 seed. And you can't see it because it's behind my big head, but the Niners did make the playoffs as the 5th seed with Desmond Ridder. Let's see how round 1 goes. Actually, let's look at the stats first. Starting off for the stats, we've got Kenny Pickett, who had 3,700 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 13 picks. Not a great season, but I mean, you know, at least he's starting now with 95 rushes, 364 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Next, we're going to have Skylar Thompson on the Cowboys. Didn't get any, he got some playing time, like downs-wise, but did not have a single stat. So, you know, sad for him, especially since he didn't make the playoffs. But next, we are going to have the Falcons with Malik Willis, who didn't play a single down, but they're the 2 seed, so who cares? Then we're going to have the 49ers with Desmond Ridder, who had another great year, 3,600 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 69% completion percentage, rushing, oh, there he is, rushing 78 attempts, 278 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Then we are going to have the Rams next. Sorry, Raiders, actually. Let's look at Sam Howell. Raiders, 3,200 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, just 7 picks. So not a great year, but not a bad year. They made the playoffs. So rushing-wise, Sam Howell had 68 attempts, 267 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now we get to go to the Rams with Bailey Zappi. See if Bailey Zappi did anything. He had a little bit of PT with 2 attempts and a completion for 6 yards. You know, it's something. And finally, we got the Titans with Brock Purdy, who had 3,400 yards, 21 touchdowns to 8 picks. Not that great of a year, but it's like not a horrible year. It's just a just an okay year. Rushing wise, he had 87 attempts for 320 yards and 6 tutties. It is another very disappointing first round of the playoffs. We had the Raiders get knocked out. That is Sam Howell. Let's see how he played. He had a rough game too. You hate to see it, but they're now eliminated. Then we had the Falcons, who also got eliminated already as the 2 seed. Malik Willis, of course, didn't play. Can't really blame him too much. Now, I don't know how I missed this, but I guess the Cowboys did make the playoffs. They did win, though, with Skylar Thompson as the backup. Of course, didn't get any PT, but they are going to the next round. And again, you can't see because of my big head, but the Niners did get eliminated in round 1 as well. Desmond Ridder actually played a good game, even though he did have that pick. But again, it didn't matter because they lost. Let's go right into round 2. Okay, in the second round of the playoffs, the Cowboys did win. Now, this is just our backup Skylar Thompson, but I mean, he's trying to get another back. Like, he didn't get the backup ring last year. He went for it and couldn't get it. Maybe he can get it this year. Skylar Thompson is trying to get a backup ring. He failed last year, and he's on his way to do it this year. They are in the Super Bowl as the backup for the Cowboys. Let's see if he can win it. Even though he was the backup, Skylar Thompson is the first quarterback in this simulation, in our little experiment, to win a Super Bowl. It was as the backup, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. He gets the first ring of the video. Now, to keep this video from going on too long, from now on, I'm just going to show you any of the key moments, whether or not someone is on a new team, whether or not someone is released and out of the league, someone wins maybe an MVP, another Super Bowl ring. I'll update you guys on that, but unless it's something like that, you won't see me. Quick update from year 4. Bailey Zappi is now on the Raiders, no longer on the Rams. And as you see, there's no Sam Howell here. And that's because he is now on the Patriots. A couple other year 4 changes that Malik Willis is now on the Lions. But also Skylar Thompson is backing up Bryce Young on the Panthers now. So all these quarterbacks still in the league, just in a couple different spots. We are now in year 5 as nothing notable happened in year 4. The only things in year 5 at the beginning so far that I can talk about is Malik Willis is now on the Panthers. And we also have Bailey Zappi now being on the Titans as the backup to Brock Purdy. And Skylar Thompson has officially been released. This is probably the last moment we've seen him. Nothing interesting really happened in year 5, so we're now in year 6. The only real change to mention is the fact that Bailey Zappi is now the backup for the Eagles. Also at the start of year 6, Malik Willis has finally been released. It looks like it's the end of his career. A couple of updates from the end of season 6. Desmond Ridder gets the first award of the entire video so far. You got Desmond Ridder winning best quarterback in the NFC. But another update. We're going to put it over to it. The Super Bowl. Brock Purdy and the Tennessee Titans are in the Super Bowl. I'll let you know how that goes in a second. And sadly, Brock Purdy was not able to win the first starting Super Bowl of the video. We are now at the start of year 7. Nobody has been released this year, but Bailey Zappi is on yet another new team. He's on the Bulls, which were formerly known as the Arizona Cardinals. They did relocate. Pretty interesting. So we're at the end of year 7, and Bailey Zappi and the Tokyo Bulls, formerly known as the Arizona Cardinals, are in the Super Bowl. They were only 8-9, but they won their division. They're in the Super Bowl. Let's see if Bailey Zappi can get a backup ring. And it looks like Bailey Zappi could not win the Super Bowl as a backup. Time to keep going. We are now at the start of year 8. The only notable things that have happened in this offseason is Kenny Pickett is now on the Saints, and Bailey Zappi is now a free agent, ending his time in this video. We'll give a quick little update after these first 7 seasons, starting at the 8th. We have now had 5 of the 9 quarterbacks basically retire because they're released. So they're basically done because they're probably not going to get signed back anywhere. Chris Oladokun after only 1 season. Matt Corral after only 2. Skylar Thompson after 4 seasons, but did win a Super Bowl ring. Malik Willis after 5 seasons. Bailey Zappi after 7 seasons. We still have Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, and Brock Purdy, who are all still currently starters. Okay, so nothing interesting happened for the rest of year 8. But at the beginning of season 9, a couple of crazy things happened. First off, let's go to the 49ers, where Desmond Ridder's been going crazy all year, all video, right? He is now a backup because they went and signed Josh Allen while still having Desmond Ridder. So Desmond Ridder is now a backup. So now let's go look at Sam Howell, who's been a starter on the Patriots for a while. They signed Trevor Lawrence. So now Sam Howell is a backup. The only one that's still a starter right now is Brock Purdy. You might be asking yourself, well, what happened to Kenny Pickett? Was he starting on the Saints last year? Why, yes, he was. But Kenny Pickett, as I'm about to show you, is now a free agent. He has been released after 8 seasons. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting for them to start at least a few more seasons. But this is the last we saw of Kenny Pickett. That's insane. Well, at the beginning of year 10, Desmond Ridder has decided he didn't want to be a backup anymore. Went to the Saints to start there, while Sam Howell has decided to stay a backup to Trevor Lawrence. And Brock Purdy is still starting for the Titans. All right, in a quick year 11 update, Sam Howell is now in the Cowboys where it looks like he's going to start. Desmond Ridder is still on the Saints, but it looks like he's going to be the backup now. So this might be the start of the end of Desmond Ridder's career. And then finally, Brock Purdy is still the starter on the Titans. He just ain't done shit with him. We are now at the beginning of year 12. All of these quarterbacks are nearing the end of their careers, but Sam Howell is still in the league. Went to the Buccaneers to be the backup. And Brock Purdy is still in the league as well. He went to the 49ers to be the starter. Somehow, he made his way back to the 49ers. Insane. But it is sad to say that a certain man that debatably has been the best quarterback in this video is now a free agent. Desmond Ridder has been released after 11 seasons. His career is done. We got to be ending this sometime soon. Nothing crazy happened in year 12. This is now year 13. Brock Purdy is now the starting quarterback for the Antlers, which were formerly known as the New York Giants. But Sam Howell does seem to finally have his career be over. I'm pretty sure he was released. Let's double check to make sure because I did not see him on the roster anymore. Let's look for him. Sam Howell, where you at? There he is, right there. Sam Howell has been released after 12 seasons of this sim. We're down to just Brock Purdy. We're back for another update. Nothing happened in season 13. Nothing happened in season 14. This is the beginning of season 15. And Brock Purdy is now 37 years old, starting quarterback for the Colts. He's still the last one waiting to hurry up and finish. We are now finally at the end of the sim. Brock Purdy's been released after 15 seasons. It's time to go over how everybody did, and you're going to let me know who you think had the best career overall. So in the entirety of this sim, we started out with 9 quarterbacks from the 2022 draft class, and this is how they went. We had Chris Oladokun get released after 1 season with the Commanders. Matt Corral released after 2 seasons with the Patriots. Skylar Thompson released after 4 seasons with the Steelers, Ravens, Cowboys, and Panthers, but he did win a Super Bowl ring as a backup. Malik Willis was released after 5 seasons with the Falcons, Lions, and Panthers. Bailey Zappi was released after 7 seasons with the Steelers, Rams, Raiders, Titans, Eagles, and the Bulls, which were formerly known as the Cardinals. Kenny Pickett was released after 8 seasons after playing with the Panthers, Commanders, and Saints. Desmond Ridder was released after 11 seasons playing with the Niners and the Saints. Only won in this entire video to win an award. He won Best Quarterback 1 time. And his career stats were 38,069 passing yards, 283 touchdowns, 68 interceptions, and his 72% completion percentage. As you see, only 3 quarterbacks are given stats because they're the only 3 that played long enough for it to matter as much. Sam Howell released after 12 seasons, played with the Titans, Raiders, Patriots, Cowboys, and Buccaneers. Threw for 31,628 yards, 212 total touchdowns, 76 interceptions on a 67% completion percentage. And then Brock Purdy, after 15 seasons in the league, played for the Dolphins, Titans, 49ers, Antlers, formerly known as the Giants, and the Colts. He had 56,647 yards, 412 touchdowns, 80 interceptions, and a 66% completion percentage. It should also be worth noting, none of these quarterbacks won a Super Bowl as a starter. The only one that even won one as a backup was Skylar Thompson. So at the end of the day, this quarterback class was still pretty mid. Desmond Ridder honestly had the best prime out of them all, but because of longevity and obviously overall stat accomplishments, Brock Purdy gets the award for being the best overall, I guess, throughout the entire sim. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. This was a fun video.